It is 200,000 years ago. You are 15 years old. You are standing in tall grass that reaches your waist. The grass is dry. It scratches your arms. The sun is high and hot. Ahead of you, something massive moves through the brush. You cannot see it clearly, but you can hear it. The ground shakes with each step. Your father is beside you. He holds a wooden spear. It is sharpened to a point and hardened in fire. He gives you the signal. He does not smile. Your hands are sweating. The thing in the brush stops moving. It turns toward you. You see its eyes. They are black and unblinking. It is a bull. It weighs as much as a car. It has horns that could split you in two. Your father told you the plan. Surround it. Drive it into the swamp. Wear it down until it cannot fight. But your father did not tell you that bulls charge. He did not tell you that the last hunt lost 2 men. He did not tell you that your spear might not stop it. And as the bull lowers its head and scrapes the ground with its hoof, you realize something. This is not a hunt. This is a gamble. And the odds are not in your favor. This is how ancient humans hunted. This is also how ancient humans died. So here is the question that changes everything you thought you knew about our ancestors. What animal actually killed the most ancient humans? If you ask most people this question, they give the same answers. Big cats, wolves, bears, saber-toothed tigers. Maybe crocodiles at the waterhole. It makes sense. We imagine our ancestors as prey, huddled in caves, terrified of the dark, waiting for something with fangs to drag them away. But that picture is wrong. It is not even close. The animal that killed more ancient humans than any other was not a predator at all. It was prey. The animals we hunted killed us back, and they killed us in numbers that would shock you. Here's the thing nobody tells you about ancient humans. We were not the top of the food chain, but we also were not the bottom. We were something stranger. We were hunters who died hunting. The creatures that killed our ancestors were the ones on the menu: elephants, buffalo, hippos, rhinos, mammoths. They did not hunt us. We hunted them. And sometimes they won. Let us start with what the fossils actually tell us. Scientists have studied thousands of ancient human remains. They look for bite marks. They look for punctures from fangs. They look for the telltale signs of a predator kill. And what they find is surprising. Less than 5% of hominid bones show predator damage. That is a very small number. At sites like Schöningen in South Africa, which is about 1.8 million years old, scientists found leopard punctures on some bones. But those are the exception. They are not the rule. Crocodile remains show up at places like Olduvai Gorge. Again, rare. Predators were not our number one killer. They were not even close. So if predators did not kill us, what did? Look at the bones again. This time, look at the trauma. Ancient human skeletons show massive blunt force injuries, crushed skulls, shattered ribs, broken femurs. These are not bite marks. These are impact injuries. They look like someone was hit by a truck or trampled by something enormous. At Boxgrove in the United Kingdom, which dates to about 500,000 years ago, scientists found a human shin bone. It had cut marks from butchering. That is normal, but it also had a massive fracture pattern. The pattern matched a horse kick. Someone was processing a horse. The horse kicked them. And that kick broke their leg in a way that would have been fatal in the Pleistocene. But horses were not the only danger. Early humans were hunting megafauna. They were going after the biggest animals on the landscape. Elephants, mammoths, giant buffalo, hippos, rhinos. These animals weigh several tons. They have horns, tusks, and bad tempers. They do not want to be eaten, and they will kill you to prove it. The Schöningen site in Germany is about 300,000 years old. Archaeologists found 8 wooden spears there. They were perfectly preserved. These spears were not for fishing. They were for hunting horses, and the horses were massive. But here is the part that matters. The spears were found alongside butchered horse remains. The hunt succeeded. But not every hunt did. Now let us look at recent evidence from people who still hunt this way. The Hadza in Tanzania, the Kung in Botswana. These are modern hunter-gatherer groups. They hunt with bows, arrows, and spears. They live the way our ancestors lived, and researchers have studied their death rates. Here is what they found. Hunting accidents cause more adult male deaths than predation, more than disease, more than fights between groups. The number one killer during a hunt? Buffalo elephant, hippo. These animals do not hunt people. They defend themselves, and they are very, very good at it. One hunter from the Hadza described a buffalo attack. He said the buffalo charged without warning. It tossed a man into the air. The man landed on his head. He died instantly. His friends could not help him. They had to run. But let us go back even further. The late Pleistocene, about 25,000 years ago, sites like Milovis in the Czech Republic show evidence of mammoth hunting. But not the kind you might imagine. Our ancestors did not just walk up to a mammoth and throw spears. That would be suicide. They used traps. They drove mammoths off cliffs. They herded them into bogs where they would get stuck. This was effective. A single mammoth could feed a band for weeks. But the cost was high. One wrong step near the edge of a stampede, and you are crushed. One miscalculation, and you are trampled. The mammoth dies, but so do you, and your family eats well. But they also mourn. So why were predators so far down the list? It comes down to a simple fact. Predators learned to avoid humans. We taught them, we are loud, we are aggressive, we fight back in groups. We throw rocks and spears. A leopard that attacks a human is often a dead leopard within days. Our ancestors made sure of that. But prey animals never learned this lesson. They did not evolve fear of us. Why would they? We were not their predator until relatively recently. They evolved to defend against other predators. And they are massively, dangerously good at it. An elephant does not run from a human. It charges. A buffalo does not hide. It attacks. And when an animal that weighs thousands of pounds attacks, you lose. There is one more piece to this puzzle, and it is the strangest part. The most dangerous animal for ancient humans was not the one you expect. It was not the lion. It was not the snake. It was not even the hippo, which kills more people in Africa today than any other animal. It was the animal we needed to survive. We could not eat grass. We could not eat leaves. We needed meat, and meat came from animals that could kill us. Every hunt was a transaction. You risk your life. You get food. Sometimes the food wins, and when the food wins, you die. Your family eats less. Your tribe mourns. And the circle continues. Think about that for a second. Every time you eat a burger, every time you cook a steak, every time you bite into a piece of chicken, you are eating the product of a relationship forged in blood. Our ancestors did not just hunt. They gambled. They looked at a 1,000-pound bull and said, "We are going to eat that one, even if it kills one of us, even if it kills two of us." The cost of meat was human life, and they paid it over and over again for 2 million years. That is what it took to survive. That is what it took to become human. We did not get to the top of the food chain by being smarter than every other animal. We got there by being willing to die for a meal. And sometimes, we did die. The animal that killed the most ancient humans was not a predator. It was prey. It was the animal on the spear. The animal in the trap. The animal that did not want to be dinner. And that is the strange, humbling truth about being human. We were never the apex predator. We were the most desperate one. So the next time you sit down to eat, take a moment. Look at your plate. Think about what it cost, not in money, in life. Somewhere out there, on the savannah, in the forest, at the waterhole, our ancestors are still hunting. They are still gambling. And sometimes, they still lose. But they keep going. Because that is what humans do. That is what we have always done. We look at the impossible odds. And we take the shot anyway. Thank you for watching. If you are curious about what it really meant to be human, stick around. There are more strange, unsettling, beautiful stories where this one came from.